Good afternoon, I'm Raylene Ramsey. This is your afternoon news fix for Wednesday, the 19th of August. A review into the fatal Mount Maunganui landslide shows the council was repeatedly warned about the risk of a slip over 25 years. 6 people were killed in January after a landslide crashed down onto the beachside holiday park. An external review released today shows Tauranga City Council failed to act on recommendations to mitigate the risk of slip posed to the campsite. Review author Paul Davison KC says had the council followed expert opinion, the campsite would have been evacuated before the landslide came down.
To that extent and in that sense, the loss of life could, in all likelihood, have been averted.
Mayor Mahe Drysdale says the review doesn't attribute blame to any individual person, but reveals systematic shortcomings.
While nothing could be done to stop the January 22nd landslide, there were mitigations suggested in experts' recommendations that were not acted upon.
Labour's leader is not budging, as the Greens promise to stand firm on campaigning for tax reform. Chris Hipkins is reiterating he's supporting a capital gains tax and nothing further as potential coalition partners campaign on bringing in new taxes. Greens co-leader Chloe Swarbrick says she'll fight tooth and nail for what she believes in. Hipkins says there needs to be a public mandate for major changes.
My approach to post-election discussions is parties, of course, are free to advocate for the things that they were elected on, but if there's not a majority support for that in Parliament, then the status quo prevails.
Health Minister Simeon Brown says there's been a massive effort to eliminate bureaucracy at Health New Zealand since he took on the portfolio. Documents obtained by the PSA reveal Health NZ bosses briefed Brown on their plan for last year's budget, aimed at strongly controlling hiring. Brown says the document is old and doesn't reflect ongoing protocol.
It doesn't surprise me that the PSA union, which is literally campaigning for a change of government, is pulling up a document from the beginning of last year when I first became the Minister of Health. Since then, we've got a new board, a new CE.
Workers First Union says WorkSafe should step in over understaffing. A survey from the unions found retail workers in understaffed shops are 5 times less likely to say they always feel safe. It also found they were twice as likely to report a workplace incident compared to colleagues working with more staff. Half of members believe or think the problems got worse in the past 2 years. Deputy Secretary Rudd Hughes says there needs to be some way to crack down on constant understaffing.
For it to be treated in the same way as any other health and safety abuse, so that they could be prosecuted.
The brass plaque commemorating the 81 staff and students killed in Christchurch's CTV building collapse has been stolen from Latimer Square. It honours those from King's Education who died in the February 2011 earthquake. Police say it was taken sometime overnight last Tuesday or Wednesday, alongside a second plaque from the Bridge of Remembrance. Christchurch City Council says it will replace the Latimer Square plaque as soon as possible, using a different material to help prevent another theft. To sport, and the Sydney Swans are deeply embarrassed and ashamed by the sexual assault scandal engulfing the AFL club and trust the standing down of 5 players for the rest of the season, essentially torpedoing their own playoff chances, will prove how seriously they're treating the allegations police are investigating. In player movement news, Jet Cleary has been given permission by the Warriors to return home to Australia, while former Silver Ferns captain Amelia-Ann Ikanasio is relieved to have a job to go to in Perth, joining the West Coast Fever in the Australian Netball League. That is your latest news fix. We'll be back with the next update tomorrow morning from the Newstalk ZB newsroom.